Tonight I want to ask you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you present here, I want you to answer, because all of a sudden the government is going like a chicken with the head cut off, trying to prove that the issue is about me. First question I want to ask you tonight: would you have preferred never have to have known about this, or would you have preferred to know that this was in the system? So you agree with me that you wanted to know that this was in the system? It matters not whether you believe the email or not. You wanted to know that the allegations were in there made by a whistleblower. Okay? So I've done my job on that score. Based on what I just told you, that the script point to criminal conduct of different types under different laws, do you believe that those conversations between the persons who are alleged, that they are capable of it? I didn't say that. Having heard or read in the papers all that the emails contain, do you believe all of it, any part thereof of it? And now that you know something about it and you know something about what it is, do you want an investigation into it? And do you want that investigation to be done by an independent body, not controlled or beholding to the government? Ladies and gentlemen, I have never done my job better in Trinidad and Tobago. Because those are the precise questions I asked myself when I saw that document. And I'll tell you one thing. I am not identifying who is at fault. I am here casting no blame on anybody. But I can tell you this as an undisputed fact. You, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, having just said what you wanted done or what you want done, for 6 months nothing was done. I brought it to the parliament, and within 24 hours, something is being done. And you call that success. It matters not that we have issues with the investigation and the part of the investigation. But prior to Monday, nothing was being done. Today, something is being done. So if nothing else, the vote of no confidence has been a resounding success. And we got some by the ways in the process too. After all the years of resistance, I was the one who fought in the parliament to save the career of Dr. Devines in the Brad Boyce case. Rowley got up in the parliament and said, mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. So the vote of no confidence has another success. You understand that? Then there was something else in the vote of no confidence, you know. A man who spends his life working a maxi taxi in City Gate, running a church in Arima, is now an MP. He cried for half an hour in the parliament because I read from the emails the word bitch. Because one of the things I did, I saw certain problems in the emails, but I did not change a comma. I submitted it to the authorities the same way it was submitted to me. There is no Rowley email. It is the email of whoever sent it to us. Nothing changed, not even the word bitch. And that had Roger Samuel crying rivers of tears. But what they didn't admit to, Prakash Ramada admit to crying and telling his wife when he was crying. Roger Samuel was stunned at that word. Nobody in the parliament admit to diarrhea. Nobody. because they just wouldn't tell the truth. I brought a motion of no confidence on this very serious matter. A matter which, if proven that any one of those emails is true, strikes at the very root of our democratic process and our system of governance. And one of the members in the government got up and said, at least I know about that one, and that one is true, and in the face of God, that is true. I wasn't to know that Volney was going to say that. Understand? So, that motion of no confidence, as far as the government is concerned, they have been energizing themselves, trying to tell the country. I mean, there's no word to denigrate me that they haven't used. Every word that can denigrate me as member of parliament for having done my job on your behalf is what they've been using. They're on Facebook and wherever else on the internet, trying to destroy me and everything I represent. But I'm stronger than that, and the PNM is stronger than that. And while they're doing that, they forget that I've been around a long time. I served in the Manning government in his first term, 91 to 95. During that time, they brought a vote of no confidence against Patrick Manning. Those of you with elephantine memory remember that. That's when I was a young man. They brought a motion of no confidence against Patrick Manning, Prime Minister. You know what the accusation was then? It wasn't that the root of the democracy was being threatened, you know. It wasn't high crimes and misdemeanor of a government head, you know. It was that he sold his car to Sankey Subans, who they say was a drug dealer. You remember that? So it is okay for them to bring a motion of no confidence against Patrick Manning for selling his car to Sankey Subans, who sold it to Dolce. But I bring a motion of no confidence to tell you that the very soul of this country is at risk. And there may be in the corridors of power in this country criminals with smiling faces. And they don't want you to know that. And you know, when they brought that motion against Patrick Manning, I was the Minister of Agriculture then. I stood up in the parliament and I led off the debate. I said, let me see that file, because Mr. Manning had a file with all the details in there. I said, let me see the file. Mr. Manning showed me the file. I said, you sit down, I will talk first. And after I was finished, they started to beg, they want to go home, they want the motion to end. Mr. Manning said, no, I have not spoken as yet, I want to speak. They said, no, but there's no point. Dr. Rowley finished. And that's how the motion ended. Mr. Manning didn't have to speak. But he was ready, willing, and able to enter the debate. The matters I just pointed out to you can only be raised at this stage in the game the way I raised it last Monday in the parliament. Had I come outside of parliament and mentioned anything that I mentioned in parliament, they would assume me from here to thy kingdom come, feigning innocence and accusing me of slander. No newspaper in this country would have published it because they would have sued the paper for libel. So if nobody had gone into the parliament chamber to raise this matter, if there are crimes committed there, those crimes will remain where they were for a time immemorial. But the people who framed our constitution gave us a protection from that. They gave us privilege in the parliament to raise it and not be exposed to the criminals themselves. Let me explain something to you. In there, those emails is corroborating information about the government's heinous attack on Denise Wren of The Guardian. One of the best corroborations inside there. And the government spent hours in the parliament doing two things. Saying that I had the emails for 6 months and I did nothing about it. Even though I started out by telling the whole country, 6 months ago, I gave them to the office of president. As far as they are concerned, that was doing nothing. I gave it to the president. The president gave it to the Integrity Commission. She said, don't appoint any commission. So far, we have no commission. But she is there with her minions telling you, I am irresponsible. And I was there for 6 months, and the crocodile tears start. Oh, God, Dennis Ren could have get killed. Suppose your man was killed. What Dr. Rowley would have said? And that reminded me of mafia funerals. You ever watch any mafia movie? And when the mafia man send and kill somebody, he just go in the funeral and bear the coffin and have on dark shades. The man in front holding the coffin going is, he's the man who killed the man. All of a sudden, the whole cabinet in parliament for a whole day, and they're concerned about the life of Dennis Ren. Would they believe this, people? But people, this is not a laughing matter. Because you see, I had options with this. And I think I chose the most responsible option. The emails point to the conduct of people in public life. There were 4 names involved, I think at 4 or 5, but I focused on 4. 3 of them are people who under the law are described as persons in public life. The Prime Minister, the Attorney General, and the Minister of Local Government, who is deputy political leader of the party in office. Because they are persons in public life who are so accused in these emails, this matter falls squarely under the ambit of the Integrity Commission, because that commission has a broad responsibility to manage and supervise the conduct of persons designated persons in public life. It matters not whether you are the chairman of WASA, chairman of CAL, board member of Petrotrin, or prime minister. You are called a person in public life if you hold certain positions. And because the information there pointed to persons in public life, I wanted the president, under his hand, to put it as a complaint or something to be looked at by the Integrity Commission. Why the Integrity Commission? Because the Integrity Commission has the ability to initiate in secrecy, preserve secrecy, appoint an investigating officer who has more power than the police. And because of the nature of the crimes that those lines in the emails point to, if they are proven, secrecy was important. The power of an investigator to take information under oath only lies with an Integrity Commission investigator, not with the police. And of course, for my own confirmation, I wanted to see their faces, unprepared, unrehearsed, when they realized that somebody had pointed a finger at them. So, on Monday, they were a little on their heels. But by the time they got into the hands of their handlers, they come out baseball bat swinging on Tuesday. And Tuesday and Wednesday, man, they were on a roll. And tomorrow they're going to celebrate, maybe they're going to celebrate the perfect crime.